Paddy Pimblett silenced his critics with a career-defining victory over Michael Chandler at UFC 314, securing a third-round TKO and elevating himself into the lightweight division's elite. This win, hailed as his most dominant performance yet, earned praise from UFC President Dana White and set the stage for high-stakes future matchups. Fans, fighters, and analysts alike are now taking Paddy the Baddy seriously as a legitimate contender. Keep watching for an in-depth breakdown, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. UFC 314 Fight Recap. What did Paddy Pimblett prove? Paddy Pimblett's victory over Michael Chandler at UFC 314 was not just a win, it was a statement. The fight began with Chandler attempting to impose his wrestling game early, securing a takedown in the first round. However, Pimblett showcased his improved grappling defense and striking precision, landing effective leg kicks and powerful punches that began to shift momentum by the end of round 1. The second round was where Pimblett truly shined. He dominated both on the feet and on the ground, landing a staggering 53 significant strikes compared to Chandler's 9. His ability to reverse positions on the mat and threaten submissions highlighted his versatility. Former champion Henry Cejudo even called it the best round of Paddy's career. By this point, Chandler appeared visibly fatigued and overwhelmed. The third round saw Pimblett capitalize on his momentum with a brutal knee strike that opened a severe cut under Chandler's left eye. He followed this with relentless ground and pound from full mount, forcing the referee to stop the fight at 3 minutes and 7 seconds of the round. This performance answered lingering doubts about Pimblett's ability to compete with top-tier opponents and demonstrated improvements in areas where he had previously been criticized, such as defensive striking and fight IQ. This win marked Pimblett's 9th consecutive victory and elevated him into the top 10 of the lightweight rankings. It also silenced critics who had dismissed him as more hype than substance. By dismantling a seasoned veteran like Chandler, Pimblett proved he is ready for elite competition. Dana White's full comments and their significance. Dana White did not hold back in praising Paddy Pimblett following UFC 314, calling him the real deal during the post-fight press conference. White emphasized that Pimblett's decisive victory over Michael Chandler should put an end to any doubts about his legitimacy as a contender in the lightweight division. People keep dismissing him, yet he continues to improve every time he steps into the octagon, White said. Tonight, Paddy Pimblett proved he's the real deal. Defeating Michael Chandler in such a decisive manner makes it hard to question him any longer. White also highlighted Pimblett's ability to handle pressure and rise to the occasion against a top-tier opponent like Chandler, who has fought some of the division's best. White further noted that this win positions Pimblett for significant matchups moving forward, stating that he is now in that spot where he's going to be fighting top guys. He expressed confidence in Pimblett's potential to challenge elite fighters like Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, or Arman Tsarukyan. The significance of White's comments cannot be overstated. As UFC president, his endorsement often dictates matchmaking decisions and promotional focus. By publicly backing Pimblett as a legitimate contender, White has effectively set the stage for high-profile fights that could propel Paddy the Baddy into title contention. This marks a turning point in Pimblett's career. He is no longer viewed as just an entertaining personality, but as a serious threat in one of the UFC's most competitive divisions. Paddy Pimblett's response and post-fight outlook. Paddy Pimblett was visibly elated after his victory at UFC 314, but didn't shy away from addressing both critics and future opponents during his post-fight interviews. Reflecting on his performance against Michael Chandler, Pimblett stated, "Everything my team and I have worked on came to fruition here. Does anyone have further questions?" His confidence was palpable as he declared his readiness to face top 5 contenders. In his Octagon interview and subsequent press conference, Pimblett called out several high-profile names in the lightweight division, including Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, and Arman Tsarukyan. He expressed particular interest in Oliveira, challenging the Brazilian's reputation as one of the best submission artists in UFC history. "I dispute that claim. I'm here to prove myself against him." Pimblett also addressed Conor McGregor after learning that McGregor had bet $500,000 on Chandler to win by knockout. Calling McGregor cheeky, Pimblett invited him for a potential showdown. "If you want to come back, Conor, I'm here, son." While McGregor remains inactive, such a fight would undoubtedly draw massive attention. Looking ahead, Pimblett aims for another fight before year-end with hopes of earning a title shot in 2026. His improved striking defense, grappling transitions, and ability to maintain composure under pressure suggest he is ready for elite competition. However, stepping into deeper waters against fighters like Oliveira or Gaethje will test whether he can sustain this upward trajectory. Future implications for Paddy in the UFC. Pimblett's victory at UFC 314 has significant implications for both his career trajectory and the lightweight division rankings. Entering the fight ranked number 12, Pimblett is now expected to crack the top 10 following his dominant win over number 7 ranked Michael Chandler. This positions him for matchups against elite contenders that could fast-track him toward title contention. A potential fight against Charles Oliveira seems particularly intriguing given their contrasting styles. Oliveira's record-breaking submission skills versus Pimblett's evolving grappling game. A win over Oliveira would solidify Pimblett as one of the division's most well-rounded fighters. Alternatively, bouts against heavy hitters like Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier would test his striking durability while providing fan-friendly matchups. Another possibility is Arman Tsarukyan, currently ranked number 1, whose well-rounded skill set would present perhaps the toughest challenge for Pimblett thus far. However, such a fight may require additional wins before materializing. Outside of rankings implications, Pimblett's growing star power makes him an attractive option for marquee events. His charisma and fan-friendly style have already drawn comparisons to Conor McGregor during his rise. If managed carefully by Dana White and UFC matchmakers, Pimblett could become one of the promotion's biggest stars, while simultaneously climbing toward championship gold. Ultimately, while this victory has elevated Pimblett into elite conversations within the lightweight division, sustaining this momentum against tougher competition will determine whether he can transition from rising star to legitimate title contender. Reactions from fighters, fans, and analysts. The MMA community erupted with reactions following Paddy Pimblett's dominant performance at UFC 314. Fighters like Henry Cejudo praised his second-round dominance as the best round of Paddy's career, while Belal Muhammad declared him the real deal after witnessing his dismantling of Michael Chandler. Rafael dos Anjos also chimed in with congratulations on what many are calling Pimblett's breakout performance. Fans on social media were equally vocal about their newfound respect for Paddy the Baddy. Many admitted they had underestimated him before this fight, but were now convinced of his potential as a future title contender. Some even speculated about dream matchups against Conor McGregor or Charles Oliveira. Analysts highlighted key improvements in Pimblett's game, particularly his defensive striking and grappling transitions, as evidence that he has evolved into a more complete fighter capable of competing with top-tier opponents. However, some cautioned that while this was an impressive win over an aging Chandler on a losing streak, tougher tests lie ahead against younger contenders like Tsarukyan or Gaethje. Overall sentiment suggests that while skepticism about Pimblett's ceiling may persist among some purists, his performance at UFC 314 has undeniably shifted public perception. Whether he can sustain this momentum remains one of the most compelling storylines in MMA heading into 2025.